Well, hello, kings and queens. I am Wisdom's daughter, and welcome to the Wisdom Family Picnic. Those of you who are new here, welcome. And if you are returning, well, welcome back. All right, y'all. So, we're going to be getting into some interesting things on this evening. We're going to be talking about secrets and lies, the truth revealed. Okay. And what I actually want to talk about is the truth about Jan. Okay. So, last night we were live. We listened to the most recent phone calls from prison. We are going to dive into that again and just listen to the portion where she's talking about her father and Jan. And I've got some receipts for you guys. We're going to be talking about who Jan is, and I'm going to be revealing some things because we all know that Bony Tail Phony Tail is a liar. Okay. And this was no different. She was very dishonest about this whole situation. She's over here scheming and scamming to put an elderly woman out of her home. And we're going to find out the truth about this house. Okay. I know that there are a couple of other people who have done some stuff on this story, but I'm almost positive that I've got some receipts for you that you may not have seen. Okay. So we're going to look at this house. I did find the house. So we're going to take a look at the house. We're going to dive into who Jan is, and then we're going to do some digging and look at some interesting information on this house. Let me just say this. Phonytail Bonytail has a whole lot in common with Nesto, just like how Nesto was talking about his 25 acres. All right. Well, like I said, we got we got some things we're gonna expose on old Bonytail. So let's see who we got in the building. Who was first? Auntie No's Kitchen was first in the building. She said, I'm waiting with the potato salad, fried chicken, and peach cobbler. All right, now let's go. I got one of one. PCFP commentary is one thing, but this is straight Jack and Nyla's content. Wow. Okay, one of one. Couple of things, my dear. I have not gone over there. Okay. I don't have time to be on other people's channels looking at what they're doing. This information is public and anyone can get a hold of it. I've been for the past few hours pulling up articles and digging and putting up all type of stuff. You just got into the building. So before you start talking about I'm jacking somebody's content, okay, maybe you should let me get through the live and see what the content is. Okay, because everything that I've pulled is stuff that was sent to me from some of the Wisdom family who be keeping their eyes and their ears to these YouTube streets, and stuff that I pulled information from websites that I pay for. Okay, there are websites that I pay to be able to get information. All right, so that's that. Okay, one leg off. You know, I'm sorry, people are so funny. This is YouTube. Okay. We pull stuff from people all the time. And typically when I pull stuff from other people, like some of the not photos, but excuse me, one of the actually I'll show it to you. One of the pictures I pulled like this, I didn't create this. This came from the celebrity juicer. Once it's online, it's online. I also didn't create this. This came from another content creator whose name is escaping me at the moment. But in terms of what we're talking about tonight, baby, let me assure you, that's all Wisdom's daughter doing her homework and her research and pulling her own receipts. And that's all I'm going to say about that. All right. So one leg off says smoked brisket, coleslaw, and baked potato here. Sherry Anderson, salad and hot wings. Kimmy Who said, I have not seen one devil egg. Kimmy Who, you are certainly right. Who got the devil eggs? Snoopalicious. Hello, WD in chat. I have big baby turkey wings, gravy, and rice. Snoopalicious. I'm coming to your house on this evening. As soon as the picnic is over, I'm coming for my plate. Tony said, hello, ladies. I've got Diva Ray in the building, Auntie Eva, Anna Rondo, Amber Radio. I've got Jam, Zen Soul, Tell the Truth, Make Sense to It. I am Mrs. Ricks, Deborah Person. All right, y'all, let's get it going. I know there's a few more of you in the building, but we'll be here all night. I can't call everybody's name, but for those of you who were here first, I appreciate you. Make sure you go ahead and hit that like button now as you're coming into the room, so that you don't forget. And we're gonna go right into this video. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. we're gonna because we're gonna be listening to a little bit of Sonya, not too much. But I'm gonna start actually with this short video that Phone Calls from Prison dropped earlier today. It is kind of short, and it's the video with Lamont and Nesto. So let's start with Lamont and Nesto, and then we'll get into Sonya. I want to replay what she talked about Jan, and we'll talk about exactly who Jan is. And I'm going to show you some information from Jan's background, and information from Sonya's background, and information from Sonya's daddy's background from the websites that I pay for. Thank you very much. All right, so we're going to get into this first video. Let me go ahead and share the screen, and we'll talk really quickly about Lamont. This is the video. Lamont tells Nesto that Shirley is done, and that they think she will pay his bond. I don't know about that part, but yeah. And I found this funny because Nesto starts off the call saying, yeah, I don't need no lecture. And that's exactly what he gets from Lamont. All right, so let's get into it. Let's go.
This video contains one call between Nesto and Lamont on June 29th, 2023. This was right after Nesto's story broke on social media. He talked.
So as I said, the first thing Nesto does is say, I don't want to lecture, and that's what he gets.
It will be linked in the description.
All right, let me shut the close down.
And at the end of this video. In this call, you will hear Nesto ask Lamont repeatedly if Shirley is done. Take a listen.
Man, I thank God you answered the phone right now, brother.
Why? What's going on?
I just thought I gotta get my head back clear. I don't need a pep talk on that. I don't need that because I'm good on that part now. But the video fucked me up. I talked to after I talked to a girl, she told me what you said. So I called. I had called on 3, and it was like what you said. She said she said she's done. And I can't come.
Yeah, but it's all good. So look, check this out. This is how we're gonna handle this shit. All right, I'm gonna go.
Oh, Blue Angel, don't worry about it, Queen, because I appreciate the watch time. They can stay. They can stay. I don't have to put the comments up. They can stay. And I have a lot of windows open right now, which is
First of all, this is what you gotta do. They recording everything that you're talking about. Don't nobody give a fuck about that. So let them record that. You already know that. I know that. Everybody else know that too. So just be mindful of what you, her, and anybody else say, because clearly there's somebody is after you and trying to do some shit to you that we both know ain't right, but ain't nothing you can do about it. So you smart enough and you're intelligent enough. Everybody's intelligent. You deal with intelligent people. This shit here is gonna pass over like everything else. Don't even worry about it. All you concern yourself with is going up for bond and getting ready to get out. Anything else, don't worry about it. I'll handle it. And you'll be good. You straight. So speak with the lawyer, see what it is that he say, and all the other petty shit. If she ain't there, then fuck it. She ain't there. But that don't mean you're gonna be by yourself. You ain't came in the shit by yourself. You ain't gonna be left by yourself. And you got a support system. So don't worry about it. She don't put up no money. I'll make sure you get the money you need. Don't even worry about that. Let that be your last concern. Just concern yourself with speaking to your lawyer. Make sure that you got all your shit together. Make sure your mind clear. I know it's difficult for you because you've been locked up for quite some time. Continue to pray. Stay focused. You got people that love you, and you got people on the outside that's willing to help you. So that's all you need. Fuck the rest of it. For whatever reason, the shit is trying to show you a lesson. I don't know. I ain't God. I don't know. And a lot of this shit I don't understand. But I can tell you this right here. They ain't God either. So with that being said, you just stay focused and keep doing what it is that you got to do. Keep a clear mind. You know, keep your mind clear. Whatever your regimen is, you do it, and just keep moving and stay focused. I ain't trying to do no pep talk because right now you ain't got time for no motherfucking pep talk. This ain't no pep talk time. This shit is real. And I told Dion that yesterday. Nobody want to hear that shit. They locked up because you doing better than what I do. Because I would be hollering, screaming, cussing, and acting like a fucking idiot. I would be acting a fool.
Oh, we know how Lamont get down because Lamont will slap a hoe real quick. Okay, Lamont, I might have needed you in this chat to set up people straight. But anyway, it's interesting how he said, if you ain't got the money, I'll get it to you. But we heard on, I don't know what the date was, but on a June 2023 call that he was still waiting for Lamont to give him some money. Sonya said, "Oh, did you get the money from your brother?" And he's like, "No, I ain't get it, but it's okay. It's okay." But he's giving Nesto some good advice. That I can say.
So you doing? I wouldn't even be able to fucking maintain a basic phone call over the telephone because I would be acting crazy, cussing and screaming and acting like, and it probably wouldn't even help anything. But that's just mentally where I would be at. You know, I'm tired of motherfuckers calling me as well, but it's all good. It is what it is.
Yeah. This is a devastating blow, but you know what?
It's devastating, but you still living. You still doing good. You got your health. You got your mind. And some people ain't even got mind. And you got people on the outside of the world that you can talk to that's listening to what you got to say. Because if ain't nobody give a fuck, nobody wouldn't take no call. That's why I was wondering when you said, "Man, I'm so happy you answered the phone. Thank God." I'm thinking to myself, what the hell you so damn happy for? Nigga, I was going to answer it anyway. You ain't got to even move mentally on that. I just needed to get in the space and the place where I could do.
So basically, Lamont made it the Lamont show. He pulled one of Sonya's moves. And I think the whole call, he's giving him this pep talk that Nesto said he didn't want.
Do it. Just so happened I was sick because I ain't got no card. My cards got messed up. My account got compromised, and I wound up not having no debit card. And it's a lot of shit going on, but it's okay. I'm still living. I'm happy, and that's all that matters. Fuck the rest of the shit, and you gonna be all right. All you gotta do is just keep maintain, stay mentally in a good space. That's all you got to do. And don't worry about people on the outside world, what they doing. You worry about what you doing. Fuck the people on the outside. Now, when you get outside, then you worry about the people outside. Right now, and don't even make.
Stephanie, yes, this is a new call that I posted today. That's buffering. 313, the best side. I love it. She said, "Hey, y'all. Hey, WD." K Bell said, "Oh, hell no." Yeah, it's okay, guys. I'm deleting the comments, and YouTube is just, I don't know. YouTube is buffering. I think it's because I got 1,000 windows open with all the receipts. But anyway, if it continues to buffer like this, I'm gonna push on, and we're gonna move into
That's your concern.
Background.
If she says she ain't there, then fuck it. Let her not be there. Just remember that.
That's what she told you, right?
Yeah, she said she was done.
Okay.
She done. Did she tell you she was done?
That was told me. She said, you got to find you somewhere to stay because the apartment people is not going to let you come stay here. No, that's fair.
Lamont said, I got to check in the savings. Oh, Treasure said, yes, I have to close everything when it starts acting up for me. Yeah, now I don't want to close it because I have everything queued up. And it took me like a couple hours to get all this stuff up here and to verify it to make sure that the information was good. Because like I said, someone emailed me earlier. And they did tell me that other content creators are covering some of the same information, and it's like that sometimes. There's not that many original stories out there, so we're all kind of covering the same content, but we don't always have the same receipts. So I don't know what receipts other people have. I know what I found, and I know what I was told. So I'm pretty sure that at least most of what I'm showing you probably hasn't been seen.
So you're talking like that. So they
crazy. You ain't got to find. Listen, don't even worry about that shit though. That's legally your house and you legally married. You can go there anytime you get ready and kick that motherfucking door in. Nobody hear that shit, man. Fuck that fat bitch. That fat bitch over there putting that shit in her ear, telling her all that. That's what she's saying now. But when you get out and you get home, because that's where your home is. When they ask you where do you live, that's where you live.
Lamont talking a whole bunch of caca for somebody he don't got no money to put on Nestor's books. I'm just saying. He's talking a whole lot. He's talking about kick the door in.
You give him that motherfucking address.
I think Lamont is going to make a good character witness, guys. I think we have to take Lamont off the list for the character witnesses.
Where you live at. Where you going to be bonded out at? To that address right there. That's where your wife live at. That's where you live at. That's where she pay bills at. And
this is his character witness, y'all, talking about kicking in doors. This is his bro talking about he going to kick in doors. Okay.
That's where you going. So, fuck what she say and anybody else. But that's where you going. So, ain't nobody got time to be doing all that. If you go and find another place somewhere else and try to establish another house, that's abandonment. That's abandonment. Right. And abandonment is anything, first of all, that y'all have or anything that you had when it come down to being separated, you ain't going to get a damn dime and you ain't going to get shit because that's abandonment.
Right.
You love your wife.
I got you.
So they can play them games with somebody else. Put that in their pipe and smoke it. That's bullshit. Yeah. No, you going back to your house, go back to your house, where she lives, and y'all work it out. Once you get home and you work that out, first you need to get over this hurdle.
I don't even think Lamont is going to go to his trial. How about that? Lamont hasn't been to see him in jail as far as we know. So I don't think so. I don't
get over this.
I don't think we can count on Lamont. All right. Terry said inside chicks 2-car garage. I can't. Yeah, all of this is basically Lamont's way of saying, nah, you can't live with me, bro. You can't stay here. Shelby said, Wisdom's daughter, I love your attitude and your comedian sense of humor. Continue doing what you do. I appreciate it. May's daughter said he can't go there though because he's not on that lease. He's in jail. He was in jail before she had to move. It was never his house. Yeah, and I thought he couldn't stay with anybody that has a criminal record. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm not sure if he's gonna be able to go to Lamont house anyway.
Other council told me so. I got to give him $7,000 more. I got to give him $7,000 more for it.
Hey Nesto, why you whispering? He over here like, so yeah, okay, but so I gotta give him $7,000 more. I love how Nesto be trying to fit it in there. I love it. He be trying to squeeze it in there. So I'm so glad that I got a lawyer and that the lawyer's paid for, but I gotta give him $7,000 more. Sensible creation sister. You got 7,000 Nesto can borrow.
Case is coming up on 13. Can you hear somebody just sit beside me? I'm trying to talk low. You know what I'm saying? Can you hear me?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, go ahead.
I got to pay him $7,000 more to get another lawyer next to him because he needs help for the 13th. Okay, that was.
Nesto, we can't hear you, bro. You're gonna have to speak up. Nesto over there whispering. I gotta give him $7,000 more. Sensible Creation said, no, he can't come to my house neither. That neck. Talk about Nesto dry begging.
Agreed. So now I'm gonna call. I don't know if you remember him, Daryl. I'm gonna see if Daryl gonna give me the money to get him so he can take care of it.
I don't think Daryl gonna give him no money either. He keep talking about his friend Daryl. Daryl came for 5 minutes during the jail visit. He didn't even stay. He wasted his whole jail visit. Like, bro, you alive? All right, cool.
Now the bond is $800,000. So if it's $800,000, my other people they said they gonna take care of that for me. So that's good.
I don't know who he thought was gonna pay an $800,000 bond. Was he talking about Dre? He thought Dre was gonna pay an $800,000 bond. That's his other partner. I don't know. Didn't Lamont say he's in a 4 times and he's in a 4X and calling somebody fat. He can't even breathe. Listen, I can't breathe. He's a 4X. Oh wow. I didn't know that. Yeah. I knew he was a little chunky, but I didn't know he was a 4X. Damn. Ooh. All right, so this video is not cooperating on this evening, and I know y'all want to get to the receipts, and I don't want to all night. So we're gonna let Nesto whisper just a little bit more, okay? About he needs 7,000. We're gonna let him whisper just a little bit more, all right? And then we're gonna get to it.
You know what I'm saying? And that's gonna let me out. That's gonna let me out. So I'm gonna do what I need to do. So that
I ain't worried about that. If it come down to that, you ain't got to worry about that. She gonna sign.
Okay.
You ain't got to worry about that.
But I'm telling you, so I don't tell the other folks that. I'm telling you what's going on. You understand?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
They don't know that. Nobody don't know that, but I'm telling you, so you need to know the real what's going on right now.
Right.
Nobody don't know how I'm gonna.
The real is Shirley is done. That's the real. Shirley ain't paying. Shirley ain't paying what? Shirley is not giving him another dime. She's tired of the jail stuff. Lamont is over here doing the most so that he can let Nesto know. Now you can't live here and I ain't got no money for you. Sorry, I ain't got nothing for you. Can't help you. Can't help you. This the best I can do is get you a Fred Flintstone. This the best I can do. That's it. That's all I got.
This huge ass bond. So that's the deal. She's gonna sign, and boy gonna take care of the rest for it. So that's it. So for that bond, I'm good on that. I'm good on that. I was good on it the day after that. So I was straight into that video shit all that. That's what threw my shit in my head when it hurt then. So as when it come out to the 13th, either gonna give me a signal bond or give me a bond because I already got bonds on the other shit. That's what the white boy didn't want me to have. Now I got that. So now
he got it, but it's 800,000. So he got it, but he ain't got it. He bonding out, but he ain't bonding out. Y'all know how that go.
Denied me with not no bond on 13. Now she has to give me a bond. So I have to or we're going to trial. Trial is 4 weeks. So I'm automatically gonna win that anyway. You already know it. You got me? You got me now?
He automatically gonna win. What did Nesto think he was gonna win? He thought he was gonna win these fake lawsuits that Bonytail told him that he could Nesto has been getting out every Thursday for almost 2 years. Okay, he's still in there. Side hand can't come up with the bond. Shirley not giving you nada, player. Nada. It's over.
Right. So you good? Okay.
Yeah, so I'm at the door. So I'm telling you what's going on. I'm at the door. It's just I'm not worrying about going to stay with you. That's just address for me to get out. And then I have to, if I move, I have to change it with the kind of clerk. So that's nothing to me right now. It's that bond.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I see that's where he messed up. Okay. He took an illegal U-turn right there because he done said in a recorded line, well, I ain't really got to stay with Shirley. That's just the address that I put down on the paper, and I could just tell him I'm staying with Shirley, but really I'm gonna come stay with you. Nesto, you can whisper all you want, but we can hear you, and so can the prosecutor. And I don't think you can do that. I don't think that ain't how that go. That ain't how that go.
just get out, and then if police come and show you, just come stay with me. We'll work it out. We'll figure it out. I ain't worried about that shit.
Yeah, so I'm good. I'm good on that part. That part I'm good. It's just I want to make sure that bond, because you have to pay the bond $5,000 for the bond. It would have been $80,000. You get what I'm saying? So, but
right.
some property that.
That's the problem. Nesto ain't got nobody to run to because Bonytail, Phonytail, she in the bed sleep. Okay, Lamont be ghosting him. Dre's on the road. Okay, you know his son Dion got to get a new car. Okay, and he messed up his back and he got to get a new car, so he can't he can't depend on. Right? It should be who can I depend on. That's what the song should be called. Nesto has a nobody. All right. And the only other person who might have been able to help him was she's in jail now because she tried to help him. All right. And now she's trying to help herself by singing like a canary because, you know, she done already turned state's evidence and everything else. You know what we're talking about. We're talking about Erica King. You can't even hear him.
Yeah. So I'm good. I'm good on that. Don't worry about that part. The only thing I got to
do.
You see what I'm saying?
I'm good on that part. I just need you to give me the 7,000. The sad part is Lamont told him that with his current bonds, he claims that he got 100,000. That ain't nothing, but he can't just walk in there with the money because they need someone who can vouch, not just someone to bring the cash, but someone who can, you know, has the character and has a steady job and a steady income, you know, who in the event, because here's the thing, if they get a bondsman, they're only paying 10 to 15%. And the bond company is covering all that other money, which if he comes to court, the courts will reimburse the bond company. But if he tries to flee or he doesn't show up, then that money gets forfeited. And that bond company wants to go after somebody just because that's like, for example, I'm staying in a hotel and my hotel stay is $500. I give them $500 cash and I'm supposed to check out in 3 days. But instead, after the 3 days, I decide I ain't leaving. I'm going to pull a Wolf of Wall Street. You know, I'm not been leaving. Okay. And I'm going to stay a few more days. I gave them cash, but that doesn't mean that I have the money to cover the other. So you can give them cash, but how are they going to reap the other 900 and something $1,000 that they, you know, vouched for? And so that's why he needs like 10 people of good character who have a steady job and have a steady income to prove that if something happened, they could, you know, they could reap the money back from those people. That's his situation, even though he has a bond. And I think he has a bond pretty much on everything, but that's pretty much where he's at and why he's still sitting. And now with this Rico, now he ain't going nowhere. It's over. It's over.
He didn't be fucked all over there, or he gonna get some kind of somebody to be in his ear. They could work a team together. That's where my brain is right now. So I'm getting out.
Yep.
Lamont has to show where he pulled the money from. Bank account, underwear drawer is not good enough. Right. And he also has to show that he has more than just that money. Even if he was working for himself and he had money in the bank, they could pull that money out of the bank at any time. He has to show that he has a continuous, steady income for a certain amount of years.
Because I haven't even been indicted. That's what they was mad about.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't get that part. Yeah, I'm just accused. I'm not.
Right.
Lamont is over here talking about
you just get accused of something. Right. I got that because I'm like, he's just accused. He ain't even been charged and indicted on us. So how in the fuck is they talking? What the hell are they talking about?
You get what I'm saying? But see, that's where you come in with Shirley. She don't listen to you. If she ain't listening to nobody else, she gonna listen to you. Because you've been around me so fucking long. We've been around us so long. Now, she gonna listen to you. But what she don't know is I'm gonna blow up again when I get out of here. Because that's my MO.
Yeah, that's his MO, scamming people. So basically, he's gonna find somebody to scam so he can get his money back. That's what he's basically is what he's saying. Somebody like a Shirley. I know he don't. 313 said, where is Sonya at? Hopefully she has sense enough to dip, but regardless, she's in too deep. Yeah, we haven't heard from Sonya, and we haven't heard from Dre since this Rico drop. Do you think he have a high bond because of Shirley's career? No, I don't think that's it at all. Well, that could have factored into it. They figured, let's make it high enough so that, he can't afford to pay it. But I think they made it high enough because of all the charges that he has, and they wanted to make it not possible for him to get out. I'm pretty sure they heard the calls where, he talked about Shirley's not good with money and all these things. And all they had to do was look at her background and see what's really going on. And all these evictions and the fact that her check was being garnished for one of the rental properties that they owed like $38,000 to. So they wanted to make sure that he couldn't get out. That's what that was. That's what that was about. Blessed for Life said, I hope he spends the rest of his life in jail. He probably will. He probably will. Mm-hmm. Shirley's done him. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Nobody's blocked. No, I don't block people, in my chat unless you're being like really, really inappropriate and it's becoming a disturbance to everybody else. I don't block people. I may delete comments, but I don't block people. So I'm not really sure what you mean. Okay. Daryl ain't got it either. Daryl ain't got it. Nobody got it. That's exactly what he's saying. He's gonna find another victim. Yeah, and they know that. They know that he's not going to stop. Okay, he's got a problem. Sonya is at Coachella looking for a tiny home. I can't. Ernie will never learn his lesson. He has one more round to go and it's over, right? Because they have to indict him on all the other charges. So I'm interested to see what that is going to look like. And we're going to move into these receipts. When this video is decides it wants to act a little better, if we have time, I'll go back and play the rest. But basically, he just tells them that he knows he's getting out. He knew he's getting out. Yeah, well, it's almost a year later and he's still not out. You literally on a call saying that you're trying to use Lamont to finesse that lady. A whole clown. Exactly. Laskia said, no, it's high because of him, not Shirley. They know Shirley's credit score is 620. In the words of Tasha K, she ain't got it. That's why his bond is what it is. Lemon T said, thank you, Wisdom's daughter. And I agree. After his Rico, he probably has taken Dre's advice and sitting his butt down somewhere. Nesto is in his cell crying every day. Crying, okay, every day. Simply Lee said, Dre, come back and talk to us. We got a new wisdom ambassador, y'all. All right, Terry, I see you. Y'all give a big wisdom welcome to Terry, because y'all know how this goes. When you become a member on this channel, we begin now. Throw it up in the chat. Make Terry feel welcome. Appreciate you, queen. And I'm assuming it's a queen. Now, I've been wrong before because some of these names I cannot tell. So I'm going to say that I think it's a queen, but if I'm wrong, let me know. Because we be kikiing up in here. June's poetry is a king. And he loves talking about how I was calling him queen for months. I'm so sorry. But anyway, appreciate you. Thank you so much for becoming a member. And again, you'll have access to a lot of things on the membership channel. And of course, exclusive receipts when I put them up there. Taurus Girl 10 said no one would have to worry about getting blocked if they were being respectful. Facts. Absolute facts. Absolute facts. All right, so let's move into the receipts because I don't think this video is going to cooperate. It's just going to keep buffering. And what time is it? It's 9:30, and I have a lot to cover with you guys. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to pivot, if that's okay. I'm just going to pause it where it is in case we have time to go back to it. So we may or may not go back to it. The other thing I'm going to do is let me get out of the live streaming studio because that could also be impacting. Because like I said, I got a lot of windows open. All right. So a couple of things. I wanted to know, I had a lot of questions after we listened to the live yesterday with Sonya, where she talks about her dad and more. She talks about her dad and how he was living a double life. He had a lot of children by different women. And so Sonya has a lot of half brothers and sisters. And then she talks about somebody named Jan. And so had no idea. There's a lot that I didn't talk about in terms of commentary yesterday. Number one, because that was the last video that we were on and I was getting tired. And if y'all wondering why I was so silly and clowning and acting up, it's because I was tired. I get silly when I'm tired. But so there were a lot of things that I missed because I just didn't have enough time to process and I was getting tired of Sonya's voice. But ultimately, she talked about her dad and how he was in a construction business and he had like some type of a food pantry type thing going on. And she talks about an ex-girlfriend named Jan. So what I have for you guys this evening, we're going to take a look at the obituary. That's where we're going to start, okay? We're going to start with the obituary. So let me go ahead and share this obituary with you guys and I will read it, okay? So if you remember in the jail call, she called him Chuck because apparently that was his nickname. So Sonya's father is Quentin Whitfield Durham. That's what the W stands for. He was born September 16th, 1942. He passed away September 13th, 2021. He was 78 years old, just a couple days away from his 79th birthday. Okay, and here is his obituary, and it reads, Quentin Whitfield Durham, also known as Chuck, was born in Parrott, Georgia. He was the 8th of 11 children born to Ruth Sherman and Everett, Mr. Durham Sr. Quentin moved to Cleveland, Ohio in 1957 at the age of 14, joining family members who had migrated north from the rural South. He joined the family construction business, honing his craft as a carpenter, an interest that began as a child helping his brothers repair and build farm structures. As a teen, Quentin was introduced to the Nation of Islam under the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, later following Imam W.D. Muhammad. He became an ardent follower. He married former spouse Phyllis Ferguson September 17th, 1966. Okay, so he got married a day after his birthday. So that must be a thing. And as their family grew, he opened a children's clothing store on Superior Avenue with his brother Charlie in 1968. They employed family members, further demonstrating an entrepreneurial spirit. In 1972, he acquired the family construction business located on Miles Road, where he continued to work with his brothers. In 1979, Quentin, as sole proprietor, opened and operated Durham's Brothers Construction Incorporated, located at 4447 Lee Road. He later added Lee Road Lumber to the site. During the 1980s, Durham Brothers Construction, Inc. became one of the largest independently owned and operated minority businesses in the city of Cleveland. So Sonya has talked about this in some of the other jail calls. And so in this regard, she told the truth. Her father and her family were very instrumental in the city of Cleveland and very well known. He built, restored, and or renovated over 500 houses and built 4 churches in the city and one in the Akron-Canton area. He never hesitated to use his personal resources to help underwrite church constructions in order to complete a project. By the early 2000s, he had not only taught his children about the construction business, they all went to work. Okay, so I believe, by the 2000s, Sonya, I'm not sure what age she was. I don't remember the time. She was born in 69, I think. We'll take a look at when she was born. But anyway, once again, they all went to work. okay, including her. He had also recognized a deep void among marginalized people in the trade unions. Creating qualified, skilled tradespeople and diversifying the unions, especially those working on publicly funded construction jobs, became a passion. He opened the nonprofit Durham Construction Trade Institute in 2006 at his Lee Road building. This also comes up in his background. He required no tuition. He tackled barriers that would prevent full student engagement. He offered both a skill track in 7 trades and a business track for future contractors. When asked to bring his program to Garden Valley in 2011, he joined his partner, Jan Ridgeway, who had reopened the Garden Valley Neighborhood House in 2010. And added the food pantry and social programs already offered at the center as additional resources to help his students. In lieu of tuition, students acquired classroom skills through on-the-job training, building ramps for disabled residents, working with the housing court to correct violations in the homes of low-income seniors to prevent fines, and sometimes a jail sentence, volunteering in the center's food pantry and making improvements and repairs in the city's aging facility, all under strict supervision. And he instilled a strong commitment to community give back and basic work ethics. He soon joined forces with Norm Edwards and the Black Contractors, Inc., using his program as a feeder site for entrance into trade unions. He and his student advocates joined others in the construction trades to diversify public job sites, marching and picketing when needed. His goal was to develop skilled tradespeople who could compete for jobs once more union doors were open to them. Quentin demonstrated an unyielding commitment to teaching, hands-on training, and developing competitive skills, simultaneously instilling self-determination principles and a focus on community give-back. He was an excellent estimator and mentor. Quentin was a role model and surrogate father to many youth and young men and women throughout the city, guiding, directing, advising, and introducing them to the construction trades at an early age as a pathway to a productive future. He was a father, dad, pops, and gramps. During his illness, Anthony Muhammad, Tony Johnson, and Ralph Spencer provided immeasurable support to him and his family. He was preceded in death by his parents, Ruth and Everett Durham Sr., siblings, Barbara, Everett Jr., Otis, Carrie, Charlie, Cleveland, and Roy. He is survived by sisters Helen Bryant, Ruth Little, and Mary Wileen Daniels. Children, Vanda Simmons, Audrey Durham, Sonya Durham, Quentin Durham Jr., Tanya Durham, Trisha Durham, Leah Jackson, Natasha Johnson, Ryan Johnson, and Joshua Johnson. Grandchildren, Sydney Durham, Courtney Simpson, Chloe Rushing, Alex Simmons, Kalia Lewis, Tamaz Durham, Cameron Lewis, Elijah Durham, David Durham Quarles, Parker Jackson, Evan Jackson, and Master Orion, and great-grandchildren, Caden Durham and Isaiah Drayton, and a loving and supportive host of family and friends. The family requests no flowers. Your presence, love, and support are greatly appreciated. He was eulogized at, was it Watson Funeral Home? Yeah, it comes up in another document where he was eulogized. I believe it was Watson Funeral Home. All right, so let me jump back to the chat to see how you guys are doing with this information. So what is most interesting is that when you hear his obituary, it paints a very different picture from the man that his daughter painted in the jail call dated July 15, 2023, where she talks about him living a double life, cheating on her mother, cheating on his ex-girlfriend Jan, buying another woman a home and staying with her at night. And that may be true. But if you think about when this man was born, and I'm not saying that it's right, but, you know, Papa was a Rolling Stone. That was kind of the culture. back then. Again, it's not right, but that was definitely the culture. So let's see what you guys are saying. So outside of not being a criminal, not being able to handle jail is the second reason I don't commit crimes. I'm new to this and I'm loving this channel. Thank you so much, Cherry. Nikki Love said, how did you find this out? Wow. One of the Wisdom family. You know, usually I end my lives by saying, keep your eyes and your ears to these new YouTube streets or these social media streets. And many of you are doing just that. So I cannot take credit for finding this. This was actually sent to me. Someone was doing research. So that person knows who they are. And I'm not sure if they want me to announce them or not. So I will keep their identity silent. So that was what he did. He was very instrumental in his community. And I'm sure Sonya was affected by a lot of this, was affected by being a family that was, you know, so well known. I mean, she probably felt like a little celebrity growing up. Everybody knew her family. You know, she couldn't hide. But at the same token, I wonder if she resented her father, because she talks about her dad like a dog. She talks about this man like dog. So, yeah. Sorry, that's the video playing in the background. Brown Eyed Girl said, I think Sonya has suffered a lot of trauma that she hasn't dealt with. She is bitter AF. I believe her daddy is one of the contributing factors. Absolutely. Absolutely. And yes, she looks like her dad. She definitely looks like her dad. Miss Jan is beautiful. Yeah, we're going to take a look at some pictures of Miss Jan, and I'm going to move over to her article next so we can learn who she was. Brown Eyed Girl said, this is interesting. I do remember her saying that she could do all types of construction work. You know, she should have learned a lot from her dad, and she should have been able to do a lot of the things that her dad taught her. And the fact that she has squandered away that talent, it kind of reminds me of Nesto, who had this great idea, but just decided to do it the illegal way. Thank you so much, June's Poetry. You're going to live a long time. I just spoke about you, King. He says, sorry, I'm late. Uncle Willie double dipped in the jambalaya and dirty rice. Had to make a new batch. Put him in the trunk of the car, Jackie Brown movie. He going to be Chris Tucker, and I'm going to be Samuel L. Jackson. You are hilarious. Thank you, King, so much for the super chat, and may your gift return back to you tenfold. All right, now. Terry said he was a positive force to his community. Absolutely. Wow. Ponytail speaks so bad about her father, Tenesto. She does. What I'm wondering is what happened to her. Her father did a lot. How is it that she grew up in that, and this is what she's become? She can't complete anything. She can't finish anything. She's always sleeping. She's never focused on her goals and her dreams. The only purpose that she has in life, other than whatever she does with and for her children, is going to visit Nesto. It's really sad. It's really, really sad. Shea B said, I'm late. Hey, WDN family. It's heartbreaking now that I think about it, to know, aside from whatever his father did in terms of living a double life, I'm going to compartmentalize that and put that on a separate shelf. Besides that, hearing what we heard, I mean, it sounds like this man was a pillar in the community and he impacted a lot of lives. So absolutely. Yeah, the obituary was beautiful. Cool Weather Farmer said, can you provide the link for this document? Yes, what I'll do is I'll add it to the I don't know if I can put it in the chat. I mean, in the comment box, but I will add it under the description on this video for those of you who want to go back and look at it. I can do that. All right. I'll make sure that I do that for you guys. All right. So, and you know, this is a public article, so you're not going to see, you know, Wisdom's Daughter stamped all over it and whatnot. I will provide the link for you guys if you guys want to read more information on it. Old School Nixie is in the building. Old School Nixie, we had some people acting up at the beginning of the picnic. Okay, they wasn't even invited, but they was in here and they was acting a fool. I did not kick them out, but I did have to delete a few comments, so I'm glad that you're here. Lonnie said, who is this Caucasian woman that he was with after Sonya mom, or is that true? You know what? It's so hard to say what's true and not true other than what we're able to verify. And what we're going to be talking about tonight is verified with documentation, right? He had a lot of women. You saw a lot of those names. You know, I don't. So one of them could have been Caucasian. This is what she said. I believe it. I'll just say that I do believe it. Side chick appears to feel her dad owes her something. She had a decent dad. Where did she go wrong? Yeah, I don't know. She had a dad that at least taught her a trade. If you give a man a fish, you can feed him for a day. You teach a man to fish, you feed him for life. And that's what her dad was trying to do with this community. He was trying to give them a chance, a fighting chance to be somebody and to do something and to compete. Her dad might have been strict and she could have been rebellious. I believe so. I believe so. And I think she said that. Yeah, I can't believe she said my daddy wasn't ish. Yeah, we all got daddy stories. So let's pivot. That's a good segue. Tamla Ainsley said Miss Jan's daughter needs to Sonya. I'm not sure what that means, but let's move into that. Okay, let's move into that article because Jan Ridgeway, whose name is Jan McCullough Ridgeway. Okay, her name is Jan McCullough Ridgeway, another pillar in the community. So let's start with this article right here. I have two articles that I want to share with you. So we're gonna look at this one. They may be talking about the same thing, but they're two different articles. So we'll look at this one first. All right, and if any of you have seen this already, then no problem, but I'm going to read it. All right. So guiding light, Jan Ridgeway has spent years, her own money, on aiding CLE's or Cleveland's most needy. So here is a picture of Jan. You can see all the vegetables around her. Okay. So for a dozen years, Jan Ridgeway has given much of her money and most of her time to Garden Valley Neighborhood House. As executive director of the largest food pantry in Northeast Ohio, she's fed, clothed, furnished, taught, and inspired Garden Valley, part of the Kingsman neighborhood, one of Cleveland's poorest neighborhoods. Now Ridgeway is trying to pull back a little. It's hard to say whose challenge is tougher, hers in pulling back or locals in letting her. I need to get Garden Valley out of my pocket, says Ridgeway. It's president and interim director for a dozen years. I can't afford to carry it like I've done in the past. My whole retirement check from Alaska every month went to this center. I lived on my Ohio check. Now she's trying to loosen her expenses and stress while recovering from breast and lymph node cancer. She's also recovering from several losses, including that of Quentin Durham, her partner in Garden Valley and Life, who died in 2021 from pancreatic cancer. I don't know if any of you have suffered with cancer, survived cancer, know anyone who has died from cancer, but pancreatic cancer is one of the worst types of cancer. Okay. I'm not going to go into it. You guys can Google pancreatic cancer. But it is quite painful. And knowing that, I can tell you that when Phonytail Bonytail is commenting on, well, she waited till my dad withered away and blah, blah, blah. Where was she? Where was she while this woman was taking care of her ailing father? Because I'm going to tell you something. He likely left this world in a lot of pain for all the good that he did and all the bad that he did, potentially, allegedly. He left this world and it was not anything that you ever want to experience. But anyway, Ridgeway has turned over the food pantry to the nonprofit Bigman's Family Center. She's seeking another nonprofit to run the house's overall services, like programs to promote nutrition, increase self-sufficiency, instill hope, provide community education services, and promote advocacy, and reopen the rest of it, which closed during the pandemic. But associates say that no one can really replace Ridgeway. Jessica Morgan, Chief Programs Officer of the Greater Cleveland Food Bank, which helps stock the pantry, says, I don't know that I've met a more caring, humble, well-connected person. She's one in a million. Her level of care knows no bounds. Daniel Cawthorn, a volunteer at Garden Valley, says, if it weren't for Miss Jan, half the time we wouldn't have enough food in our homes. She changed the way we eat. Without Jan, we will be less healthy. She inspires us so much. Longtime Garden Valley client William Grady says she saved my life one time when he collapsed at the pantry. She called for an ambulance and tended him meanwhile. Associates say that the neighborhood house needs to find new leaders sooner or later, and Ridgeway needs to step back, but not too far. She will still be involved as a consultant, says Mary Cordray, a liaison to Garden Valley Neighborhood House from John Knox Presbyterian Church, which helps support it. She has to stay involved. Bigman's leader, Obatiola Saurika, quote unquote Rika, Songo Funmi, says of Ridgeway, I don't think she's stepping down. She's just moving over to the side a little bit. Pernell Jones Jr., Cuyahoga County Council President and District 8 Councilman, hopes that Garden Valley Neighborhood House weathers the change. It's a critical need in the community. Then they talk about her as a dedicated woman. Ridgeway figures that she's put at least $115,000 into Garden Valley Neighborhood House, a 1918 settlement house in a 1924 complex at 7100 Kingsman Avenue on the edge of the Kingsman neighborhood. She and her partner Durham also put their days and nights into Garden Valley, and Ridgeway built its food pantry into the region's largest food bank. Before the pandemic, she was giving produce, meat, bread, cereal, and other food to more than 30,000 people a month. Wow. My question is, why wasn't she given state funding? Where was the government funding, local, state, federal funding, for this? You have people out here engaging in PPP loans, and here this woman is putting her own money into this food pantry. Where was the help? Anyway, she also served about 1,500 people a month in about 50 other programs, from dance to family literacy classes to HIV testing. She staged shows, holiday parties, camps, and senior proms for senior citizens. She created an African drum troupe that played in Pennsylvania and Washington, D.C. She created a garden whose produce won prizes at the Cuyahoga County Fair. Ridgeway hosted a nationwide conference on HIV and AIDS and also campaigned door-to-door against the scourges. I can't tell you what we haven't done, she says. Ridgeway built a corps of about 150 volunteers. She organized a yearly fundraiser for Garden Valley called Hike for Hope. She delivered food to shut-ins in the evenings. She ordered supplies and tackled paperwork in the middle of the night. She has scrounged up school uniforms, job interview clothes, beds, stoves, and other necessities for clients. One year, after she handed out turkeys for Christmas, volunteers insisted that she take the last one home. Then a woman came in on 2 canes who was raising 13 grandchildren and great-grandchildren. So, of course, Ridgeway gave her that turkey. Durham, a contractor, repaired and maintained Garden Valley Neighborhood House's 20,903 square feet. He once went there in the wee hours several nights in a row to switch generators. Another time, the couple went without electricity at home for a few days while paying to keep Garden Valley's electricity on. I'll pause there for a second. Remember, Sonya makes a comment that she thought that there was something with the HVAC or with the heating system. Right. I don't think my dad, I don't think he fixed or renovated the heating system. So here we have what was really going on. Here's the truth. They went without electricity so that they could use that money to pay to keep Garden Valley's electricity on. And unfortunately, I have triggered my security system, AKA my 2 pit bulls. Hang on, guys, 1 second. Keep the conversation going in the chat. Let me just check on them really quickly. This is a good time for a bathroom break if you need one. Hey, what's going on? What am I doing? Listen, put that back over here for me, please. Put that back over here. Close the curtains for me. Okay? I don't know why they're doing that, but if you need to let them outside. How are you feeling? Okay, no, you need to take that back. Let me get some of that. And you can let it close the whole drink. Okay, guys, sorry, I'm back. Life happens. Got the doggies, got the young prince. All right, guys, so sorry about that. Where was I? So that is why it wasn't that there was a heating issue. It was the fact that they made the sacrifice to go without electricity. Once again, this article paints a very different picture of Sonya's dad from what we've seen. And June's Poetry gifted 5 memberships. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. I can't even see who was gifted right now because I'm out of the studio. But for those of you who were gifted, we have 5 new Wisdom Ambassadors. Y'all welcome them to the family because we be kin now. Those of you who got gifted, let me welcome you officially to the Wisdom's Family Picnic. Please give a huge thank you, which you probably have already done so, to June's Poetry for gifting the membership. King, I appreciate you so much. And a pimp named Nesta. Nesta was in the building. I see you. Shout out to all the Wisdom Ambassadors, to the new and to the old. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you. This experience would not be the same without you. And again, welcome, because y'all know how we do around here. We be kin now. All right, so Ken, we're going to get back into this article. I'm almost at the bottom. This is a long article. And so, interestingly enough, the next section is titled Whatever It Takes. So again, we're getting a very different picture than the man that she painted in this jail call. So when we have things cut off at home, it only affects us, says Ridgeway. When Garden Valley goes dark, it affects the whole community. Ridgeway helped persuade the Ohio Department of Transportation to hire more residents of Garden Valley's Kingsman neighborhood for the Opportunity Corridor project. Then Ridgeway saw them standing idle at the project. The new hires said that their colleagues wouldn't train them for fear of competition in the trades. So Durham moved his construction school to Garden Valley, trained students to repair the sprawling complex, and helped more than 200 of those students get construction jobs, often on major projects. This man was a genius. Not only did it provide them the resources that they needed and that he needed to keep Garden Valley going, but he was able to get the labor that he needed to make repairs while teaching them a trade. So it was kind of like a win-win situation. And guys, just so that you know, I'm going to put the links to these articles in the description on this video. So don't worry, you guys will have access to them, okay? The Kingsman area needs all the help it can get and more. It's Cleveland's 3rd poorest neighborhood, according to the Center for Community Solutions. Its median household income is $18,046. That's barely 1/4 of the national average. Neighborhood House serves more than Garden Valley and Kingsman. We feed whoever comes through the door, Ridgeway says, adding that clients come to the pantry from as far as Salone, embarrassed to seek food closer to home. Ridgeway, who was 73 at the time, was raised in the rural town of Pelham, Georgia. She earned a bachelor's degree in English, whoop whoop, and African American Studies, whoop whoop, at Albany State University in Georgia, with some credits from Harvard and Yale, because it's not Harvard. You have to do it bougie. It's Harvard, okay, and Yale. Then she got a master's diploma in library research at Emory University in Atlanta, whoop whoop to EU. The adventurous woman moved to Alaska the next day and stayed there for 16 years. She worked in libraries there, consulted for them, and managed the construction of a $43 million library. In 1987, Durham asked Ridgeway, a childhood acquaintance, to join his construction business in Cleveland, where he built, demolished, and renovated several hundred buildings. She learned basic tasks like cement work and helped oversee his projects. She soon became a librarian again. She led the Cuyahoga County Public Library's Beechwood branch. She helped Cleveland Heights Public Library leader Steve Wood raise a controversial walkway over Lee Road. He loved controversy, Ridgeway says, and actually he was pretty good at it. She led the CPL, which is Cleveland Public Library, outreach programs and revived its book mobile service. She brought acclaimed authors such as Nikki Giovanni. I met Nikki Giovanni and I've read a couple of her books. That woman is awesome. She's an amazing speaker. That woman is the truth. I gained so much inspiration from her because I also have a bachelor's degree in English literature. Okay. Anyway, but I didn't become a librarian. She brought acclaimed authors such as Nikki Giovanni and Faith Ringgold to library's main branch. She also oversaw many CPO branches, including a tiny satellite in the Garden Valley neighborhood house basement. She labeled shelves there as adult, reference, and so on. Today, the labels remain, but the books have been replaced with canned beans and other non-perishables. Back when Ridgeway was managing the library branches, the struggling Garden Valley neighborhood house often lost power, water, or gas. The library board wanted to close that branch. Instead, Ridgeway won permission in 2008 to move it to a new building across Kingsman Road. Without its only paying tenant, the neighborhood house closed, and the building kept deteriorating. Windows had been broken, water was standing on the floor, the doors were not secure, Ridgeway recalls. But she developed a plan for Garden Valley Neighborhood House to reopen and presented it to library trustees at a meeting. The trustees asked her to leave the room a while. She returned to learn that she'd been named Garden Valley Neighborhood House's president. In 2010, she retired from the library, reopened Neighborhood House, and became its unpaid interim director. Her duties were supposed to be very part-time. I thought I could do that, she says. One day a week, sure. She quickly learned there's no end to this work. Over the years, Ridgeway raised funds for the neighborhood house from Hunger Network, Presbytery of the Western Reserve, John Knox Church, Church of the Covenant, New Community Bible Fellowship, the Jewish Community Federation, Neighborhood Connections, United Black Fund, and other groups. The Greater Cleveland Food Bank named Garden Valley as one of its 10 resource centers in the neighborhood house's broad range of services. The reward included a walk-in refrigerator. Eaton Corp once offered to send 90 workers to help repair Garden Valley Neighborhood House if Ridgeway could send 1,000 for materials by a certain date. She didn't have the money, so she played the lottery and she won $2,600. Look at God. Look at God. Looking to the future, and this is the last 2-3 paragraphs. Looking to the future. So this summer, Garden Valley installed a $34,000 solar power system with help from Black environmental leaders, Revolve and the Sierra Club, and others. The panel should save Garden Valley $64,000 worth of electricity over the next 5 years. But Ridgeway has struggled for funds from government. They seem to prefer organizations with broader support. I've never had an audit, she says. I couldn't audit my own money. One day in 2017, Ridgeway collapsed in the pantry. She was diagnosed with cancer. Then Durham was diagnosed with cancer too. The pair sometimes got treatments at the same facility at the same time. Now Ridgeway is in remission, but is still taking oral chemotherapy. Meanwhile, the pandemic shut down most of the neighborhood house's programs. Now the pantry distributes food at curbside and at 130 homes with help from police in Cleveland and Shaker Heights. The pantry is open on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays from 10:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. It serves people who report household incomes of no more than double the federal poverty standard. Each client may come any day for produce and any 1.5 weeks for non-perishable food. Ridgeway says she hopes to see the building and its programs reopen next year. She's also talking to a couple of contractors about resuming the construction classes that Durham once taught. But first, Garden Valley Neighborhood House needs a new boiler, new elevator, and new leaders. Meanwhile, she says, I'm ready to do something different. I'm ready to do short-term projects. For one, Ridgeway is leading a campaign for a postage stamp honoring Kamaru House, the nation's oldest. Okay, once again, Ridgeway is leading a campaign for a postage stamp honoring Karamu House, the nation's oldest producing African-American theater. For another, Cleveland Mayor Justin Bibb has asked City Council to put Ridgeway on the new Community Police Commission, which they did. Ridgeway lives near University Circle in an early 20th century house, and okay, here we go. Here's the truth. Ridgeway lives near University Circle in an early 20th century house that she and Durham restored. And there's proof of that restoration. I'm going to show it to you. She walks a few miles per day. She reads a couple hundred books a year from many different genres, often while curled up on her porch swing under a blanket. She also spends time with her daughter, Leah Ridgeway Jackson, an engineer teaching at Hathaway Brown School, and 2 grandchildren. the plain dealer named Ridgeway as one of its community heroes, but she has mixed feelings about her achievements. I'm very idealistic, she says. I thought I could get rid of the food bank line. I realize now there'll probably be a line long after I've left the world. As for Garden Valley overall, I don't know how much of an impact we've had on the community. I would say we have made a difference in individual lives. Wow. Very humble. Very, very humble. And this is the woman that Phonytail Bonytail over here is trying to, or was trying to scheme and scam out of her house, which we're gonna switch to that next. Let me just check on the chat and see how you guys are doing, because I know that this was a lot. Okay, this was a lot. But again, very, very different picture than what we were given. And whatever Phonytail thinks that she's going to be able to do is not going to work, likely not going to work. And I'm going to show you guys why. Okay. I'm just trying to catch up with some of your comments. Miss Shirley is not getting you out or getting you back. Lamont is full of dookie. Okay. No matter how great your parents may be, children will stray. Hopefully they will find their way back. Tamla Ansley, she needs help, and we all know she needs help. She needs a doctor's help. I had that OBIT and info on Jen several months ago, but I didn't feel it was relevant to anything, so I stood down. Yeah, you know what? Old school Nixie, she's had a lot of receipts and things that she's, kind of held on to. She's able to find like really good information. And this is why I credit Phone Calls from Prison and her artistic genius, because she's putting these calls out to help us make sense out of this entire conundrum of a story. And it is a conundrum of a story. It's a hot mess. It's a hot ass mess. It really is. And so it would not have meant anything at the time, but it means something now as these calls come out. All right, let me try to catch up a little bit. Decent dad with 1,000 women to take care of. Dad threw them on the back burner because of work and women. Clearly, she was neglected, hence her need for attention and validation. Absolutely. Absolutely. He put himself into his work, and of course he had his lifelong partner, and it's clear that she feels jaded about that. I went to Cleveland many years ago. I was amazed at how beautiful the old houses were. Yeah, I'm going to, as a matter of fact, let me put this up. So I'm going to share some information with you guys in just a minute on this house here, because I know some of you, this is the house that appears in the thumbnail that says Secrets and Lies, the Truth Revealed. And I know there were some people who jumped to conclusion because they're automatically assuming because someone else is covering a story, I'm just repackaging, what they covered. And like I said, that's not the case. Because if that was the case, I would have been live a whole lot earlier. Okay. Because whatever lives they're talking about happened well before this one. So, but there's a lot of information out there and there's a lot to unpack. And so when people send me stuff, I have to take time to read everything. I can't just go, half cocked, on stuff to make sure that it's accurate. I'm afraid of pancreatic and brain cancers. Absolutely. That type of cancer is a beast. Sonya is pure anger and bitterness. This is two beautiful people who put a lot of their time and energy into helping others at the expense of their own family. However, Phonytail had an opportunity to join in that effort, but that's not what she did. She went way, way left. And I'm not, here to judge her on that. It's just, it just seems like it's opportunity wasted and squandered, and if I was her dad, I would be very disappointed. I would be very disappointed in Bonytail. All right. So now what I want to do, again, thank you, June's Poetry, for the 5 gifted memberships. I appreciate you. And those of you who would like to become members, I'm going to go ahead and put the membership link up. The Nightbot will drop it in just a second. Terry said, I'm glad WD is sharing how these wonderful two really are. That's why I said secrets and lies. There's a lot of things that Sonya says that's not accurate. We know that she's not a good judge of character, and you can't really trust what she says. You have to kind of weave in between, the truth and the lies. I'm always wondering why people do what they do. Childhood trauma can carry over to adulthood if not confronted and dealt with. Absolutely. And she experienced a very traumatic event, being shot by her boyfriend. And instead of dealing with it and getting therapy and going through the healing process, she ran. You can't miss steps. You can't. Because what's going to happen is you will always be brought back to that place, or you will get stuck. And I think Sonya is stuck in a very vicious cycle. And so she's never dealt with whatever issue she had with her dad, whatever issue she had, and how they manifested in her relationships. And so this is what we're left with. We're left with what we see in these jail video visits and what we hear on these jail calls. And listen, I clown a lot, I kiki. There's times when I've even said, I'm not going to say the H word because somebody told me that's not nice. I have great disdain for her, but I also I like to understand why people are the way they are and how they got there. And I pity her a little bit. It's sad. It's really, really sad knowing what she could have done and what she could have been. So anyway, let's move on to there was another article, but I want to say that this is basically the same information repeated. Okay, let me just take a look at it. Okay, so it's a short article. I will go ahead and read it really quickly because it's short. Okay. And some of the information is the same, but it's short. A couple of years ago, Jan Ridgeway excused herself from a board meeting of the Garden Valley Neighborhood House. The members appeared to want to talk in private, and she was volunteering to help develop a strategic plan. When Ridgeway returned, she learned she had been named to the board of the Financially Strapped Center on Kingsman Road and East 71st Street. Then she was named president. Wow. But a few months later, in December 2009, the board decided to close the neighborhood house when it ran out of money. The community was up in arms, recalled Ridgeway, who decided to step in as the center's volunteer director. Green Valley is among Cleveland's poorest areas. It has among the highest concentrations of children in foster care, living with relatives, and new HIV and AIDS cases, Ridgeway said. Much of the outcry about closing Garden Valley Neighborhood House has to do with the food pantry. Ridgeway said she thought about all the people who would go hungry. She also thought about the grandparents raising grandchildren who would no longer have a support group, the struggling elementary students who would no longer have tutors, and the people who would never learn to read in an area where she said 20% of the adults are illiterate. We'll reopen and I'll run it, she told the board. Every year, the Plain Dealer highlights people in Greater Cleveland who saw a need and stepped in to answer it, sometimes risking injury to save themselves, sometimes risking time and effort to make a change in the community. Here are the heroes of the past 3 years. Okay, they have links. Since she retired in March 2010 as a Cleveland Public Library administrator, Ridgeway has been the neighborhood house's volunteer director, working long hours and taking only a few days off. Ridgeway soon found out why the center was in dire financial straits. It had developed a long history of mismanaging grants and other funding. She said so few foundations and public entities would support the center. Lacking outside support, she started going into her own pocket. She said she donates $100 weekly for meals for the Senior Citizens Program. When the furnace needed a part, it cost nearly $400. Ridgeway paid for it. When she saw that many children in the area were subsisting on junk food, she started cooking classes focusing on nutrition. She often funds the sessions. Sometimes it feels like too much when I have to make a choice between a bill at home and paying one at the center, she said. Other times, the needs of the center are so great that my meager contributions don't seem enough. Ridgeway said that in 2010, she contributed $10,000 to the center. Ridgeway continues to lead by example. People who benefit from the center are expected to give back. For example, students at the Durham Construction Trade Institute, which offers a free 90-day program at the neighborhood house, are required to volunteer there. Before Garden Valley was all about handouts. What we are saying is that we still meet you where you are, but our mission is to transform your thinking in such a way that you will learn how to help yourself and in return help others. And it just repeats what we read earlier about her needing some money, and she didn't have, okay, hold on a second. Let me just read it. So in September, It appeared Ridgeway's bootstrap philosophy was about to be challenged. Eaton Corp was prepared to have its employees volunteer for construction projects at the center. The center had to provide $1,000, but only had $71 in the bank. Ridgeway, who wouldn't receive her pension check for a few weeks, played the lottery. She hit for $2,600. Okay, we've read that. And so it ends with, she should be a model for each of us in how to serve and strengthen Northeast Ohio. Awesome. Again, I will link these articles down in the chat. So now what I want to do, I'm going to skip over the article about the police commission. There's a video there. What I'll do is I will link that in the chat, and you guys can go, not in the chat, but in the description box on the video, on the live, and then you guys can read that at your leisure. Okay, so let's take a look at a couple things. Let me just share this tab instead. Okay, so what we are now looking at, okay, make sure you guys can see and you can see. Awesome. What we're looking at is the background on Janice Ridgeway. As I said, her middle name is McCullough. Okay, Janice McCullough Ridgeway. She was born in April of 1949. She's 75 years old. Okay. So a couple things that I did is I noticed this address, 1568 108th Street in Cleveland, Ohio. She had other addresses listed. There were 9 other addresses that were listed. Okay. And so what I did the same for Janice as I did for Quentin, as I did for Sonya. I wrote down all their addresses, and then I put a star next to the addresses that matched. And there were 2 addresses that they each had consistently in their background checks. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at this 1568 108th Street in Cleveland, Ohio. Okay. Now, we'll look at that in just a second. I'm just going to scroll down. You see, she lived in Alaska. Okay, so those of you are like, well, how do we know this is the right Jan Ridgeway? She said she lived in Alaska. Here it is in Alaska. This is the second address we're going to look at. This 16600 Parkland Drive, Cleveland, Ohio, because that's a very interesting property. There are some things that Sonya mentioned that are not true. And we're going to explore some of those things that she said. I think she was kind of cross-pollinating some of her information. Okay, I'm just going to scroll past some of this. So here, nope, sorry, looking for Quentin. Okay, because he's on here. Okay, here it is. So possible associates, Quentin W.S. Jr. Sr. died in September 21. Once again, this is Sonya's dad. Okay. So for sure, this is the right person. We can see everything there. So as I said, I'm going to pivot over to, let me share this tab instead. We're going to be moving around a little bit. First, we're going to look at the 1568 East 108th Street property. Okay. Because there's a couple things that I noticed. The first thing that I noticed is the owner is listed as Janice Ridgeway. Status is active. Okay. Let me just go to the top of this. Let's start at the beginning. Start at the very beginning. Okay. So here's the house. Okay. Can you guys see that? Let me see what you guys see. Okay. Let me show you here. I'll put a picture up. Okay. That's the house. Okay. This is the house that Sonya is talking about originally in the video or on the jail call. Okay. That's the house. Now, when I looked at this, I noticed a couple things. So she said the house was 4,000 square feet. First of all, Phonytail didn't know a lot about this house. She was looking it up as she went. Okay, she was looking it up. I don't know if YouTube is working, so we're probably not going to listen to it. If you guys want to go back to phone calls from prison and listen to it at some point after this live, it will put a lot of things back into perspective for you. But because we've got a lot of information to cover, unless we have time, I'm not going to play the jail call. I'll just explain. So she talks about how the house was built in the 1900s. It was built in 1913. Okay. It's on 1/3 of an acre. I looked it up. It's exactly 1/3 of an acre. She didn't know how many bedrooms and baths. After she looked it up, she says, oh, it's 4 bedrooms, 4 baths. She thought it was 3,000 square feet. It's actually 4,000 square feet. Maybe it was 3,000 square feet when she had it, but there's some work that's been done to this house. Okay. Once again, it says owner occupied. Yes. And the owner's name is Janice M. Ridgeway. The market value on this house is $258,094. Bonitail said that when she went on Zillow, which we'll look at in just a minute, it said that the house was worth up to $454,000. That's the most that she could get for it. Excuse me, but what I saw is that the assessment on the house in terms of what it was probably worth was around, you know, 350, the high 350s. Point is, she claims that she owes $310,000 on this house, and that may be true, and I'll share with you why in just a moment. Okay, so the owner, again, Janice M. Ridgeway. All right, so here is the ownership timeline. The house was purchased, and we'll get into the details of exactly when Frederick and Dorothy Grosset purchased it, but it was purchased initially by them for $135,000. Okay, in the year 2000, June 2000, they sold it to Janice Ridgeway for $170,000. In 2005, she sells it to Sonya Durham, aka Bonitail, in November of 2005, just like Sonya said, for $295,000. Now, why does she have $310,000 left on her mortgage if she purchased it in 2005 for $295,000? Okay. Some of y'all might want to take notes because this is a lot of detailed information. Okay. You might want to take some notes. More than likely, what this dummy did is when she had it, and you can see she had it for 1 year. She may have taken out an equity loan or something. I'm not sure. I'm trying to understand, how does she still owe $310,000 on this house from 2005? So I don't know if that's true or not, but that is what she said. Then she does a quick claim deed to Janice Ridgeway in 2006. And Janice Ridgeway has owned this property since 2006. We're going to get into the details of this in just a little bit. Okay, I'm just going to scroll past this. So you see building details. So the total square footage is 4,008 square feet. There was a lot of work that was done on this house. Looks like the garage was expanded and so forth. So if you keep scrolling, okay, you're going to see building permits. There's a number of building permits. From September of 2005, there's a building permit for it. I can't see what it's for. It says building housing, so maybe an expansion on the house. There's another building permit from July of 2006. It says permit requested was Power Electric Company, owner Janice Ridgeway. And this was a building permit for something that has to do with electrical. Okay, so apparently they did put electric in the house. Another building permit from July 18th of 2006. This is for a fence. Again, owner Janice M. Ridgeway. And this was, okay. So the next permit is October. I'm going backwards, just so you guys know I'm going backwards. So October of 2003, there was, it says violation closed. I don't know, there was some type of violation. So apparently they were trying to do something and didn't have the proper permit and they got a violation. All right. And then in October of 2003, Global Builders requested a permit for whatever expansion they were doing on the house. So there are a number of permits. Another one in 2001 from Rice Electric. Janice Ridgeway is who's listed. Okay, that's who's listed as the owner. Okay, Global Builders and so on. See if there's any different one. Then there's another one for mechanical plumbing requested by Oscar Lawrence Jr. That was in 2001. Okay, so again, a number of permits on this. So that was the expansion that was done. So let's look at the timeline now, the details of the timeline. I have to scroll down and go back of how this house passed from who to who. Okay. So Catherine B. Cook and Colbreth B. I can't read these names. Sold the house to Frederick and Dorothy Grosset in 1999. Okay. They sold the house for $135,000. On March 26, 1999. Frederick and Dorothy Grosset purchase the house. I can't see your comments right now. So if there's any super chats and things like that, thank you so much for your gifts. And I will acknowledge it as soon as I come out of here. So now, after that, in June of 2000, Dorothy and Frederick sell the home to Janice McCullough Ridgeway, Jan. Okay. The lender was North American Mortgage. She got a mortgage for $153,000 and the transfer value says $170,000. Okay. So she gets the house. She has a mortgage on the house. That happens June 9th. Okay. Then in 2005, she sells the house to Sonya. Okay. Sonya's lender is Long Beach Mortgage Company. The loan amount was $250,750. It was an actual mortgage company. Okay. On November 1st. Then just a year later, Sonya does a quick claim deed to Janice Ridgeway. And Janice Ridgeway has remained the owner since that time. The transfer was listed as a resale. So for those of you who don't know a whole lot about real estate and you're saying, well, what is a quick claim deed? Let me explain it to you. All right, hang on. Do I have it queued up? Hold on a second. I may not have it queued up. Let me get that information for you. Hang on, guys. Oh, I know where it is. I have it in some of these screenshots that I did. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can get them. Okay. I will try to put these up here on the screen for you guys to see so you can understand what a quick claim deed is. Okay, and what it's for. Hang on. I just have to load these into StreamYard really quickly. And I'm going to show you a sample of a quick claim deed. Okay. Give me just 1 second. I'll tell you what they're for and why they're used. All right. So as they come up on the screen. Okay. Hold on. I have to it tells me I've got too many overlays. So I have to delete a few. Hang on 1 second. And I will pull that information up for you as I just go ahead and delete a few things. That was from the other day. Okay. So first and foremost, let me take this comment off the screen. And all right. So a quick claim deed is a type of deed that transfers a person's interest in real property, often between family members. It's commonly used for transferring real estate without a traditional sale. It does not prove ownership of the property like a grant deed. It's often used to transfer interest in an inherited property to an individual's trust. It must be notarized and recorded with the county recorder. Now that's a mouthful. So let's go and dive a little deeper to see what that means. And hang on a second. I'm going to try to bring up a few more images for you so you guys can get a better understanding of what this is for. Some of you know, some of you don't know. So I'm going to try to bring them up on the screen so you guys can see it for yourself. Because this is a lot of like real estate jargon and it doesn't have to be real estate jargon. All right, let's see. Can I get them on the screen now? Let's see. Okay. So a quick claim deed can be used to transfer property or titles. They're typically used to transfer property in non-sale situations, such as transferring property between family members. They can be used to add a spouse to a property title after marriage or remove a spouse from a title after divorce. Clarify ownership of inherited property, transfer property into or out of a revocable living trust, clarify an easement, or change how a property's title is held. Deeds can be used to transfer property or titles from a grantor, which is the seller, to a grantee, the buyer. Warranty and limited warranty deeds are usually the most reliable because they offer a covenant proving that the land is indeed owned by the grantor. However, they are harder to get and often take more time to negotiate. So what does all that mean? Okay, so basically here is what it means. Okay, I have a house and I want to give my house to my mod, Old School Nixie. right? I'm not going to sell her the house. She's not going to pay anything on the house. I just want to give it to her. It's like a sale, but it's not a sale. And so I do a quit claim deed where I'm basically transferring the deed or the title on the house from my name to her name. It doesn't prove that I'm the owner, but it's now saying that now this house is yours. So that's ultimately what was done. Now, there's also, or there used to be a law stating that after 7 years, whether you can prove ownership or not, after 7 years, if no one is claimed the house, it's pretty much yours. Today, that doesn't work, but this was done back in 2006. So pretty much this house belongs to Janice McCullough Ridgeway, Jan Ridgeway. Okay. Now, what Phonytail was going to try to do is, because remember what she said. She said, yeah, I'm gonna get that quiet title. And I said, does she mean a quit claim deed? What is a quiet title? I had no idea what a quiet title was. I had to look it up. Okay. So when I looked it up, this is what I found. Quiet title action. A quiet title action is a special legal proceeding to determine ownership of real property. A party with a claim of ownership to land can file an action to quiet title, which serves as a sort of lawsuit against anyone and everyone who has a claim to the land. If the owner prevails in the quiet title action, no further challenges to title can be brought. In Cisco's versus Brits, the court laid out the conditions under which a quiet title action may be filed. It was held that a party can file an action to quiet title where an action of ejectment will not lie when the party is not in possession, does not have the right to possess the land, and wishes to determine all rights of the land. So let me put that in layman's terms. Phonytail over here thinks that she's going to put in legal action to say, I'm really the owner of this house, give it back. But the truth of the matter is that's not going to work, because technically she doesn't own this house anymore. Okay. She did a quit claim deed, and let me show you what the quit claim deed looks like. Okay. And it gets notarized. It's a binding document. Okay. Here's an example of a quit claim deed. The quit claim deed is made effective this blah, 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 the effective date between the following grantor. And then you check one, an individual, a married individual, married couple, and so forth. If it's a partnership, a trust, and the following grantees. And then they put that. So the seller and the buyer basically is the grantor and the grantee. And then you check one. Then you have a witness and you get it notarized. The property will be held as, and then what is it held as? So proprietorship, joint tenancy, tenancy in common, tenancy by the entirety. And then it says subject to the following, and you can put the exceptions in it. The property is the homestead of the grantor. The property is not the homestead of the grantor. And so let me just go back to this document again. Okay. So Ponytail, once again, she did a quit claim deed to Janice. Janice owned the home first. She sold it to Sonya. And then Sonya did a quit claim deed back to her. I don't know why she did that. I don't know if that was because she couldn't afford the mortgage. Who knows? I'm going to show you what another one looks like a little close. Okay. So it's requested by, you have your name, the title number, escrow, if it's an escrow, and then documentary transfer tax, you can put that in there. And then basically you sign it. Okay. So there has to be documentation for them doing this because it's recorded. It's recorded right here. It happened. It was recorded on December 7th, 2006. So Janice is the rightful owner of this property. So I'm not sure what Sonya thinks she's suing for. Okay. Because the woman owned the house first. Once again, here's the house. Okay. Now I'm going to share with you what this is about, because this is another house that appeared on each and every one of their background checks. So I'm going to get to this house in just a minute and share with you what is the deal on this house. Because as Ponytail talked about this house, she tried to say that people are offering $1 million on this house. For real, Ponytail, people are offering $1 million on this house? No, boo-boo. Try again. Let me show you guys something. So I went over to I gotta share my screen again. I went over to Redfin. Let's see which one. Yeah, let's look at this one first. Okay, let's look at this one first. Can you see? Hang on, let me take this down. Okay, so I want you guys to be able to see. So this is Zillow, actually. So went over to Zillow. It's showing 4 bedrooms, 3.5 bathrooms. The other document said 4.4 because the half bathroom is still considered a bath. So that's just how they documented 4.4. Okay. It's off market, number one. The Zestimate on Zillow is $397.9. Okay. She says that this woman is paying rent. I'm not sure what rent she thinks this person, you know, is paying. There's a mortgage on this house, so she's paying the note. She's paying the mortgage. That would make sense. Anyway, so I scrolled down to take a look at the comps in the area because Phonytail tried to say that people are offering $1 million. Well, here are some of the comps in the area. And one house sold for $429. That was the highest comp that I saw. Okay, I'm seeing $290, $262. These are recent sales, $389. And homes sell based on the comps in the area. Okay, unless somebody really wants your house and they just want to offer way over the asking price, you can't have it's not going to sell. If you have a house that you want to sell for $600,000 and the last house that sold for $429 7 months ago, that's a huge disparity. Okay, a huge disparity. It has to be apples for apples, granted. Okay, but yeah, I don't think she's going to be able to get that kind of money for this house. I just don't think. And here it's close to University Circle. So I don't believe that that's going to happen. I wanted to take a look at, see if we can take a look at the neighborhood. Okay, so can you guys see this? Yeah, you can. Okay, good. So let's just take a look at the neighborhood, okay? Because she said that this is in a historic neighborhood. Now I don't know Cleveland. I've never been here, so I don't know. But what I will tell you is that I was panning. I said, "Oh wow, that's a beautiful home across the street. Oh well, look at that one." And I was panning. Lo and behold, what's that? What is that? That's a police car. Well, I mean, I'm not trying to say because there's a police car in this neighborhood is a bad thing, but I laughed. I absolutely laughed. I was tickled pink. I see this house over here. That looks beautiful. This house is not worth $1 million. I don't know anybody that would give it $1 million. And Sonya says she didn't believe that there was a kitchen in the house. I don't know. I don't know. Then I moved over to Redfin because I wanted to look at some of the renovations done on the house. So the house has a basement that's 1,661 square feet, and the basement is unfinished. The heating is natural gas, and then it has hot steam for hot water. There's one fireplace. Let me see. There was some information on here about some of the work that was done. So the living square footage in the house is 4,008 square feet. This is in Wade Park subdivision. Those of you who want to look it up. The ground floor is 21,060. The building square footage is 6,700. Again, it's 2 stories. It has 4 parking spaces. So they did expand the garage. Okay. The garage is 1,040 square feet. And let me see. So this verifies basically the same thing that was on the other document that I saw. And it was renovated in 1972. And that is the information that it matches what's on the dad's background. Okay, so that's that. That is the first home. Okay, that is that. So let me go ahead and pivot to the next document that I want to show you guys. Okay, so here is Mr. Quentin, who passed away in September 2021. Okay. So he's got the same address, and then he has some other addresses listed. This is one of the addresses from the article. Now, here is a house that keeps coming up. You're gonna see it again when I look at Sonya. Okay. So I looked this house up because I wanted to see what this house was. Okay, it's gonna appear on Sonya's background check as well. So let's go ahead and pivot over to this house and see what is 16600 Parkland Drive, because Sonya mentioned something about $1 million, right? So I'm nosy. So this is what I did. I went to Zillow and I looked at the house. Okay, and this is what I saw. So this is, can you guys see this? Okay, yeah, you can see it good. This is what I saw. Now, this house is under contract for $1.475 million. It's 5 bedrooms, 7 bathrooms. I don't know why this house is listed on all 3 of their background checks, other than that they must have had something to do with this house at some point. Maybe they lived in this house at some point before it was renovated. I don't know, but this is absolutely beautiful. Remember, Nesto asked her if she had space to put an RV in the back, and she was like, yeah, there's space enough. Not on that 1/3 of an acre. There's not. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Okay. This is beautiful. You know, a few of us should have got together and we should have bought this house. Look at the inside. This is a Shirley Strawberry worthy home. Look at those floors. Oh, good God. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Okay. They're not the owners of this house. I'm just telling you, they don't currently own this house. This house was obviously renovated at some point. They might have lived in this house. So when she talked about $1 million, was she talking about this house? I don't know. But Sonya lied so much, who knows? They got a pool table and everything. Listen, this house is fit for a real Wisdom family picnic. Who's with me? Okay. It's under contract. It's not sold yet. I'm just saying. I could live in a house like this. This house is absolutely gorgeous. I couldn't have designed a better house for myself. It's very nice. Very nice. But no, I'm not moving to Ohio, but it is an absolutely gorgeous house. I'll show you. It's got 10 more pictures. I'll show you. Okay. So I brought this up because, again, that's one question I can't answer for you. What was the deal with this house other than that it appears on their background? So I don't know if they did if the dad did some kind of construction work on this house. Okay. But there's plenty of room for Bonitail's RV park thing, or her RV period. Okay. So, you know, once again, there's a sale pending on this house for $1 million. This is in Shaker Heights. Remember, Bonitail is obsessed with Shaker Heights. She talked about how she grew up in Shaker Heights. And if this is appearing on her background, then maybe she did grow up in Shaker Heights, like she said. Okay. The date on this house is 1962. Okay. It has the address of when this first appeared on Sonya's dad's background, 1962. Okay. I'm going to switch over to Bonitail's background really quickly. Okay. So she was born September 1968. She's 55 years old. All right. I did not redact anything on here. I think, you know, we're all adults, and I don't think anyone is going to be trying to run over here and run to this lady's house. So let me just scroll past a couple things and then I'll get to it. All right. Because I really want to get to, she has 33 addresses. Okay. I'm going to take this off the screen now so you guys can see. Okay. So I told you I had a lot of screens open. Okay. The other thing is Sonya mentioned 17 properties. Now there are 33 addresses listed, but she mentioned 17 properties. And I think I know which ones that she may have owned at one time and or associated with this story of the 17 properties. And we'll count them in just a second. So, you know, she's got the apartment. She lived in Florida. Here is the Cleveland house that we looked at again. And it shows that October of 2005 to May 2013. I'm not sure what these dates are about, but we know that she had the house in 2005. Okay. And then I just keep scrolling past all these other addresses. And lo and behold, I come to this same house that we just looked at, the 1600. Now, yeah. Okay. I'm going to switch screens again. So just bear with me. It's a lot of jumping around. Okay. This house is owned by Jonathan Miller. It is owner occupied. Again, it's under contract. He is selling this house. The market value is almost 1.7 million. Jonathan and Catherine Miller own this house. Okay. They bought it in 2008. And then I see, hold on a second, let me go back. So it says 20 possible residents. These are people who may have lived in this house at some point. I see Audrey Durham has this on her background from August 1990 to 2012. And then I see Sonya Durham from April of 1889 to October of 1992. And then I see Quentin Durham Jr. This is not her father. I don't believe this is the father. Could be. Maybe it could be. From April of 1988 to December of 1991. Okay, so these are her family members. So they lived in this house or were at this house at some point. Okay, it says possible residents. Interestingly, is that sometime, and they don't have the date on here, Benjamin F. Jr. and Sylvia Davis purchased this house at some point and they sold it in 2008. So obviously they lived in this house before then and before it was renovated. So, and I'm pretty sure that she looked up this house and saw that it was going for $1 million and is over here talking about, see this Janice McCullough. Here she's listed here. She was seen in this house in 1972. I'm sorry, January 1970 to 1987 is when she was listed to have been in this house. So they must have lived in this house at some point or was associated with this house at some point. I can't tell you in what shape or form. I just don't have that information. But they resided in this house at some point, and so did Sonya. And the house has since been renovated. So when she's talking about, oh yeah, I'm gonna sell it for $600,000, whatever I can get, the house is not worth that. It's just not. It's not worth that. So let me see if there's anything else I want to show you guys here. Okay, nope. So we're gonna go back to Bonnie Tail's background. Okay, so she has a lot of addresses listed here. And so I decided to count them. I didn't include any apartments, but I did include all the homes that appear in Ohio. So starting with this one. So we have 1 in this house in Michigan, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, not counting those houses, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Now that could be a stretch, but I found that very interesting. The only houses that I did not count were these Florida places because these are probably rentals. So I did not count those. But she talked about having these 17 properties. So yeah, there you have it. She claims to have been a paralegal for the law offices of David J. Stern. And I have to do a separate video or a separate live for that. And I think I'm going to do a members only live, and then I'll just make it public after about this law offices of David J. Stern, because that's a really interesting story. She talks about being a paralegal and how, you know, she's got all this criminal law. This is a real estate firm. This is not a criminal law firm. This was a real estate firm because this firm no longer exists. And I'll explain to you why when I do that video. Okay. She has the title of paralegal, but she's never gone to paralegal school. She's not licensed or certified as a paralegal. And again, when I cover this story, I'm going to explain to you what happened because it is right up Sonya's alley. It has to do with criminal activity, and that's all I'm going to say. So these are only 2 jobs that she has listed. I don't know what Empire Operations Group Inc. is. She didn't even have her dad's company listed, so apparently she didn't do any work with her dad. Just a pure lazy bones. Okay, let me get out of here and see what you guys are talking about, because I know that this was a lot. Okay. People were acting up in the chat when we first started, accusing me of stealing somebody else's receipts or something of that nature. There's another picture of Jan. I may have showed this or not. I'm not sure, with her vegetables and stuff. But as you can see, I did a lot of my own homework. Okay. Now in the past, I may have recycled some receipts, but not in this case. Okay. Definitely not in this case. So those people who were here, you can run back and tell that. Okay. In the picnic, we have a good time. We kiki and we laugh. There is no chaos and derision over here. I don't operate in chaos. I operate in a spirit of love and a kiki. All right. So we don't do that over here. We don't like to get ugly over here. All right. So let me see. I'm trying to catch up with your comment. It's amazing hearing about Ponytail's parents and what generous and seemingly kind people they are. And somehow Ponytail is Ponytail. I think she was bitter about having to share her dad with his other women and children and got little attention, which explains her neediness and attention seeking from Nesto. We're all infected by our upbringing one way or another. When you know better, you do better, especially when you want better. You better preach. Sonya is just a bad seed. Yeah, I guess. I would be very disappointed. Sonya's father had multiple women and was leading a double life. Yeah, a lot of men did that back then. And again, I'm not justifying that behavior, but a lot of men did that back then. And these comments are about an hour behind. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to skip to the members' comments. I can get to a few of them. As in, so his disdain and fascination with homosexuality is my reasoning because it makes no sense. Yep, Zensoul said, we don't know how he treated his children. We do know how he treated his community. I love that. We don't know how he treated his community, meaning, Sonya's dad. We do know how he treated his community. Okay. So you said Alaska. Someone said, I met Nikki Giovanni at a book festival. All right. We always look at a child's upbringing. Many times it'll explain their actions and reasoning as an adult. Parents are their first teacher. Absolutely. That's a lot of books. Oh, Cool Weather Farmer said, WT, I love your reading skills. I appreciate that. I do a lot of public speaking, and my public speaking voice when I'm presenting is very different from when I'm kikiing on here. So yeah, the floodgates open on both Sonya and Nesto. Birds of a feather, just be lying. SH Play 2, how are you? Says, I live in Cleveland. I recognize these prestigious places mentioned. This lady pioneered blacks breaking into these forbidden areas. I know that's right. Nesto is super scared of Hazel talking. I bet. Let me see. I'm trying to get to a few more. Lamont is used to that street pimp action. He sure is. Sonya thought Nesto was going to be a come up for her financially. She really thinks he's getting out. When she told him, I see the tailored suits and red bottoms, she had an agenda. Oh, wow. Sonya's a big liar, but girls don't act angry at their dad. He neglected her and she's pissed. Yep. Let's see what else. Wow. I can't believe it's only 200K-ish. That house would be 1.5 mil in DC. Mm-hmm. Yep. Old school Nixie is acting up. She said, you can't find a hut in the ghetto for that price where I live. That's a good down payment. Mm-hmm. Bad memories of dad and full abandonment of mom. She is trying to reconcile her daddy issues through Nesto because he's safe in her perspective. She thinks he's someone that would stay loyal and secure. Yeah, I wouldn't. You might be right, and I wouldn't trust the Nesto. The old quit claim to the Brooklyn Bridge joke had California real estate broke his license. Lord, oh my goodness. June's poetry said, in California, spouses of persons who inherit property are required to sign a quitclaim, even though the spouse may not have any interest in the property. Okay, I learned something new. I knew the haters would be lurking from a certain channel with the stealing content mess. No one in YouTube has a monopoly on information. It doesn't belong to anyone in particular. I bet you Bonitail is screaming at all the bloggers who have snatched the mask off her by covering this story, like Daphne and them did the bad man on Scooby-Doo. Not Scooby-Doo. The property will be held has no checks for Sonya at all. Yeah, she doesn't even have money in her bank account. So I don't know how she thinks that she's going to be able to get this house from this woman. And obviously she didn't. This is a year ago. So obviously she didn't. I don't know what she sold. Somebody claimed that she sold a property recently. She got a little money for it. And that was going to pay for her Africa trip. Whatever happened to the Africa trip? Or do y'all think she's in Africa now? And that's all we ain't heard from her. Who thinks Sonya bought her RV and drove to Africa? And that is a trick question. Oh, check. Yeah, she said, oh, check them comps, snap. She said the lady is paying the mortgage, but she taking the house back. So it's like she just paying rent. Well, it seems like she quick deeded the property to her so that it didn't go into foreclosure. Oh, you know what I didn't show you guys? Hold on a second. There was one thing that I didn't show you guys. There are a lot of liens that were placed on this house. Oh my goodness. Let me show you guys that. I knew there was something. I was trying to remember everything because I got 50 screens open. Hold on, y'all. Let me show you guys these liens. Where are the liens? Here we go. 10 liens on this property. Do y'all see it? No, y'all can't see it because I'm covering it up. Hold on. Sorry. Okay. Where is it? Okay. So again, it's in reverse order, but June as recent as June 24th, 2022, there was a lien. Okay, it was a state tax lien. Okay, let me open this up. Does it show you the amount? Oh yeah, and the amount $1,793. So that sounds like that's probably the property tax, but there was a lien. Okay, Common Pleas Court General Division. Then there's in 2018, there's another lien for $1,093. Okay. But this debtor is listed as Cedric Redden. So that wasn't Janice. That wasn't her. This first one is her though. It says Janice Ridgeway. This is somebody else. Okay, let me keep going. 2016. It says 2362. The debtor is listed as Janice Ridgeway. Okay, there was a civil judgment, so I guess she had to pay it. Cleveland Municipal Court. Here's another one against Janice in 2016, May, $1,612. She's listed as a debtor. There's a judgment for that. Again, in April of 2016, 3632. I don't know if this is the mortgage. I'm not sure what this is. Oh no, it's a state tax lien. It's a tax lien. This is property taxes. Okay. So remember what she said. She was putting off her own bills so that she can keep this community garden going and all these programs going. So in October of 2015, $7,500. There was a civil judgment for that. In August of 2015, another lien for $3,149, another civil judgment. July 2015, $1,748. Okay, another civil judgment. In March 6th of 2015, $3,165, another civil judgment. And I think this is the last one. This is January 27th of 2015, 1706. Again, she's listed as the debtor, and it was another civil judgment. So, you know, there's been a lot of challenges with this house. There was an equity loan that was taken out for $119, $360. Equity is based off the partner's home value estimate of $258, and it says estimated remaining mortgage $131,697. So I don't know if Bonitail is dyslexic, okay, and she got her numbers wrong, but she said that she owed $310,000 on this house. I don't know where she got that from. I don't know where she got that from. You can't even trust what she says. But here's the estimated value. It says the estimated market value is $260 to $337. I know that she talks about the Zestimate on Zillow, but let me talk to you about the estimate on Zillow. Those numbers are not accurate. They fudge those numbers so that people were like, oh, my house is worth this much. And then when you really do your homework and find out, those numbers are inflated. Okay, so you can't really trust what's on Zillow. You either have to go to the Georgia MSL site and look it up, or, you know, I believe this is accurate. Okay. This says updated 5/2024. So anyway, so the most that she could probably, the absolute most that she's probably get for this house is 350 based on the comps in you know, in the area. Maybe, you know, if it's renovated inside, she could maybe get 400, because, you know, somebody did sell a house for 429, but that was 7 months ago. And you know how these people do. I don't think anybody's rushing over there to buy that house. I'm sorry. Here's a house that's 6,285 square feet that was sold in April of 2024 for $299,000 in the same area. It's just a mile away. Okay. These are the comps. You can't just pull a number out of your ass. You can't do that. Okay. 270, 185. So now, granted, these are much less bathrooms, so the price is lower. And I don't know how many bedrooms this house is, but I'm just saying, okay, you have to look at, you know, apples to apples. And yeah, I don't think she's getting more than 400 on this house. So she really does owe 310, like she said. She ain't coming out with what she thinks she's coming out. And the truth is, she ain't getting shit, because she doesn't own this house. So how about that? She ain't getting nothing. She's not getting nada. All right. Let's see. Anything else in this background that I wanted to show you guys? No. Okay. So let's get back to the picnic and the comments. Let's get back to it. Let's get back to it. So there you have some of the secrets that she was holding onto. Okay. She may have issues with her dad, but her dad did a lot for the community. And again, I just don't understand, how do you talk about your late father that way, knowing that he passed away in such a horrible way? I don't understand. Somebody said, where's Dre? What's Dre's IG? I don't know. I have no idea what his IG is. I don't know Dre's last name. Old School Nixie, you're going to have to help us out. Can you help us find Dre? We need you to find Dre. We need to know where Dre is. Kimmy, who said, I think Sonya was a scammer. I think Sonya was a low-level scammer when it came to real estate. Oh, she was. She was. When I do this story, you guys going to find out all about it, because what she was involved in with this law firm affected a lot of people. Okay, a lot of people. And if y'all don't like her now, when I share this with you guys, and let's see, today is what? You know what? Maybe we'll do it tomorrow. We'll do it tomorrow. We'll do some side chick chronicles tomorrow. And I will, because I've been holding on to this for months. Okay, I've been holding on to this information for months, because again, I wanted to verify some stuff, and it took me down a rabbit hole. Because I read one article, I got to another article, and when I tell you it took me down a rabbit hole, I couldn't believe it. I could not believe that she was involved in something on such a grand scale. She's not a good person whatsoever. Not a good person. June's Poetry says she can get a quiet title action going if she's claiming fraud, deceit, or coercion. She can't get nothing going, because remember, all she does is sleep. She doesn't sleep. All she does is sleep. I had his last name, but forgot it because it wasn't a deal with the case. Dre is in a jail jacket that I discovered. Old School Nixie, you're going to have to find that jail jacket, boo. But we need you to look. You got to look through your stuff. Dre is in the back of his truck ordering a girdle from Amazon. No, brown-eyed girl, no. No. I still have an affinity for Dre. I feel bad for him because he wanted to think the best in his partner. He wanted to think that his buddy, his partner, okay? He wanted to think that his partner had turned his life around, you know, and yeah, the house is beautiful. The house is beautiful. Auntie Eva said, I'm down. All right, so I got Auntie Eva. Who else is going to go in with me so we can put in a higher offer than whoever put a contract on his house? Marlo Bracy says she said the lady is paying the mortgage, but she's taking the house back like she's paying rent. Well, she can't take nothing because the lady's paying the mortgage, and Bonitail, she ain't got it like that. She ain't got it like that. Okay, I'm trying to catch up. I thought there was a few more comments that I missed. And then we're going to see if there's anything else, and then we're going to wrap up. But you guys pretty much hit the nail on the head with this one. So that's the truth. That's the truth. So now you know the truth and the lies. And if you didn't know before, you can't trust anything this lady says. I feel so bad for Nesto because he trusts what she says and she has led him astray so many times. It's like, how many times are you going to be led astray by the same person? Okay. Yeah. Nikki Regan said that's impossible. That's like saying I'm gonna drive to Hawaii. Exactly. We were making fun of Ponytail. We like, nah, she can't afford to fly to Africa. She gonna buy her RV and she gonna drive to Africa. Yeah, it was a joke. But anyway, so all right, you guys. So we're going to wrap up this family picnic. I appreciate you guys, all the gifts that you gave. All right. May your gifts return back to you tenfold. The memberships that were gifted, those of you who were gifted, I really hope that you appreciate the membership. I don't know who got gifted, but I'm hoping that the people who got gifted were people who really wanted the membership. And I'm going to close on this. Mother's Day is right around the corner. Y'all know some of you have not picked up your Mother's Day gifts. You need to go right now to buttersandblacksoap.com and go ahead and order some African black soap, some natural body oils, and some body creams for your mom, your sister, your auntie, your grandmama, or whatever other lady that's in your life that you want to show love to. These are great gifts because you can't get them just anywhere. They're handcrafted, they're handmade, they're all natural, and their products are absolutely amazing and they smell really, really, really good. Okay, so get your orders in because they are handcrafted. Okay, and we want to make sure that your deliveries get there in time. If you use the code WISDOM, you can get a 15% discount off your order. Or if it's your first time on the website and you put in your email, you can get a 20% discount off. Okay, so let's go ahead and shut down the website for Butters and Black Soap. I want all 334 y'all to go on there. Many of you have already purchased products and you absolutely love them like me. But go on over there and get it popping and let's support this Black business. They're in Douglasville, Georgia. If you actually want to go to the shop, okay, and check it out. I haven't been over there yet, but I will definitely be going over there. I have to get permission from the owner to film, but I will definitely do a virtual field trip over there as soon as school lets out. A pimp named Nasty Nesto said, I think Nesto surrounded himself by women who are experts on real estate scams. Auntie Eva said, great investigative work. Good night, everybody. I'm sending out so much love to the mommies. And Red Lipstick Hustler Lily said, good night, chat. All right now. And I'm going to say good night to you guys as well. I'm going to go ahead and sign off because it is way past my bedtime. And for those of you who are wondering, I'm feeling much, much better. I'm just about 100%, but I'm getting there. And this is what I'm about to do right now. I'm about to log off. And I'm going to end with a little bit of music for y'all. I appreciate it. I hope you guys have fun at the picnic. Y'all know how this goes. Be safe, be at peace, and keep your eyes and your ears to these social media streets. And I will see you on the next one.